Cheddar. Cheddar is one of the most widely consumed cheeses in the world, and it comes from a small village in Somerset, England. It is made from cow's milk and goes through a unique process called cheddaring, where the curds are stacked and turned repeatedly to drain out moisture. The result is a firm, dense cheese that ranges in flavor from mild and creamy when young to sharp and crumbly when aged for longer periods. You find it melted in burgers, sliced in sandwiches, or simply eaten on its own with crackers. Its versatility is a big reason why it became a global staple. Mozzarella. Mozzarella originated in southern Italy, traditionally made from the milk of water buffaloes. Today, most commercial versions are made from cow's milk, but the buffalo version still holds a special status for its richer flavor and softer texture. Fresh mozzarella has a moist, stretchy quality and a very mild, milky taste. It is the cheese most associated with pizza, where it melts into that familiar pull most people recognize immediately. It is also the key ingredient in a caprese salad, layered with tomatoes and basil. The fresh variety is best eaten the same day it is made. Brie. Brie comes from Île-de-France region near Paris and is often called the queen of French cheeses. It has a soft, pale interior and is wrapped in a white, edible rind made of mold. When ripe, the inside becomes almost runny and has a rich, buttery flavor with earthy undertones. The rind itself adds a slight mushroom-like note that balances the creaminess. Brie is commonly served at room temperature on cheese boards alongside fruit and bread. It is a cheese that rewards patience because its flavor deepens significantly as it ages toward the edge of its rind. Parmesan. Parmesan, known in Italy as Parmigiano Reggiano, is produced in the Emilia-Romagna region and is one of the oldest recorded cheeses in the world. It is made exclusively from unpasteurized cow's milk and must be aged for a minimum of 12 months, though premium wheels are often aged for 2 or 3 years. The extended aging process gives it a hard, grainy texture and an intensely savory flavor. It is rich in umami, the deep, satisfying taste often described as the fifth flavor. Most people know it as the grated cheese on top of pasta, but it also works beautifully in chunks as a snack paired with aged balsamic vinegar. Gouda. Gouda comes from the Netherlands and has been traded in the city of Gouda since at least the 13th century, making it one of the most historically documented cheeses in existence. Young Gouda is smooth, mild, and slightly sweet. As it ages, it develops a firmer texture, a darker golden color, and a complex caramel-like flavor with small, crunchy crystals that form inside. Those crystals are actually concentrations of an amino acid called tyrosine, which appear as proteins break down during aging. Smoked Gouda is a widely popular variation where the cheese is cold smoked over wood, giving it a darker rind and a distinctive smoky depth. Blue cheese. Blue cheese is a family of cheeses defined by the visible veins or spots of blue-green mold running through the interior. The mold, a strain of penicillium, is introduced during production and develops as the cheese ages in carefully controlled conditions. The result is a bold, sharp, and pungent flavor that many people find polarizing at first. Famous varieties include Roquefort from France, which is made from sheep's milk and aged in limestone caves, Gorgonzola from Italy, and Stilton from England. Each has its own texture and intensity, but shares that unmistakable tangy quality. Blue cheese is commonly crumbled over salads or used in dressings, and it pairs surprisingly well with honey or sweet fruits. Gruyère. Gruyère is a Swiss cheese with a history going back to the 12th century in the canton of Fribourg. It is made from raw cow's milk and aged for a minimum of 5 months in cool cellars, though some are matured for up to 18 months. The cheese has a firm, smooth texture with small holes and a flavor that starts nutty and slightly sweet when young, then develops a more complex, earthy, and savory quality with age. It melts exceptionally well without becoming greasy, which is why it is the traditional choice for fondue. It is also the cheese used in classic French onion soup, where it forms that golden, bubbling crust on top. Camembert. Camembert is a soft, surface-ripened cheese from Normandy in northern France. It shares some similarities with Brie, but has a stronger, more pungent flavor and a denser center when young. It is traditionally made in small rounds and ripens from the outside in, so the rind softens first while the center takes longer to reach full creaminess. Genuine Camembert de Normandie is made from raw milk and has a more complex barnyard-like aroma that pasteurized versions do not fully replicate. In France, it is common to bake a whole round of Camembert in its wooden box and eat the warm, liquid interior as a dip with bread. Ricotta. Ricotta is an Italian cheese that differs from most others in how it's made. Rather than using fresh milk directly, ricotta is produced from the whey left over after making other cheeses. The whey is reheated until proteins rise to the surface and are skimmed off, giving the cheese its name, which translates roughly to recooked. The result is a light, grainy, moist cheese with a delicate, slightly sweet flavor. It is used extensively in Italian cooking, appearing in lasagna, stuffed pasta like ravioli, desserts like cannoli, and baked goods. Because it is low in fat compared to many other cheeses, it's a popular choice in lighter cooking. Feta. Feta is a brined white cheese from Greece and holds a protected designation of origin, meaning authentic feta can only be produced in specific regions of Greece using milk from local sheep or a mix of sheep and goat milk. It has a crumbly, slightly grainy texture and a tangy, salty flavor that comes partly from the brine it is stored in. The saltiness and acidity make it a natural complement to fresh vegetables, which is why it's central to the Greek salad. It also works well baked, where it becomes softer and creamier without fully melting. Feta has been made in Greece for thousands of years, and its production methods have remained largely unchanged. Havarti. Havarti is a Danish cheese developed in the mid-19th century by a cheesemaker named Hanna Nielsen, who traveled across Europe studying cheese production before creating her own variety on her farm near Copenhagen. It's a semi-soft cow's milk cheese with a smooth, creamy texture and small irregular holes throughout. The flavor is mild, buttery, and slightly tangy, making it approachable for people who find stronger cheeses overwhelming. It melts well and is often used in sandwiches, on burgers, or in grilled cheese. Flavored varieties with herbs, dill, or jalapeno are widely available and popular in Scandinavian-influenced food culture. Manchego. Manchego is Spain's most famous cheese, produced in the La Mancha region from the milk of Manchega sheep. It has a firm, compact texture with small holes and a distinctive zigzag rind pattern that comes from the traditional grass molds used during pressing. The flavor is rich and slightly tangy with a buttery, nutty finish. Young Manchego, aged about 3 months, is softer and milder. Older versions, aged over a year, become firmer and more intense. It's a staple on Spanish tapas boards, often served with membrillo, which is a thick quince paste that balances the cheese's savory depth with a gentle sweetness. Emmental. Emmental is the Swiss cheese most people picture when they think of cheese with large, round holes. Those holes, known in the industry as eyes, form during aging when specific bacteria release carbon dioxide gas inside the cheese. It originates from the M Valley in Switzerland and has been produced there for centuries. The flavor is mild, nutty, and sweet without much sharpness. It melts smoothly, which is why it's commonly used in sandwiches and traditional Swiss dishes. Emmental is also one of the cheeses used in classic fondue blends, often combined with Gruyere to add depth and richness to the mix. Provolone. Provolone is an Italian cheese with two very distinct personalities depending on how long it is aged. The young version, called dolce, is aged for about 2 to 3 months and has a smooth, mild, slightly sweet flavor that works well as a melting cheese in sandwiches and on pizza. The aged version, called picante, is left for 6 months or longer and develops a sharp, tangy, almost spicy character. Provolone has a smooth, pulled texture because it belongs to the pasta filata family of cheeses, meaning the curds are stretched and kneaded while hot before being shaped. It is commonly hung in its distinctive elongated form to age in Italian cheese shops and delis.